Hello and welcome to the Buckcast, episode 8. Today's special guest is Youthberk, if I'm saying that correctly.
Correct.
And let's just go ahead and jump right into it. Would you mind telling me what was the first competitive format you remember playing?
It was during Task. I remember
Uh-huh.
the name correctly. It's between Thunder Dragon, Sky Striker, and Orcus. It was time when I was in high school.
Yeah.
That's when I started wanting to become competitive. Um, I did want to grow my aspect of the game because a lot of people that I played with back in high school, I felt like they were kind of slow a bit. And I was like, trying to help them understand the game, but the ruling a bit more.
Uh-huh.
But I always get backlash and say this is right, this is wrong. I always occur to when I think about it, I always have the current asking someone a bit professional already. Like for example, this person named Dan. I'm not sure you know this person, but Dan, I always ask him some questions. He always refer back to me of the card effects and how the chain reaction plays through.
Yeah.
Because to understand the ruling helps you be better, to become a better player, and understand the game more. And since then, till now, in college, I was able to meet other players who were able to understand how to play the game efficiently. I understand that I'm not the best player. I'm just casually, and the other players as well around me are casuals. But they understand more of the game than the ones that I know back in high school.
Yeah. It's good to know that you kind of had this desire to get better, and then you started trying to learn more about the mechanics of the game and stuff. I have noticed definitely with the people here, there are a lot of opportunities to get better and to get a deeper understanding of the game. But what strategy were you playing when you first started?
I started playing a bit as a beginner. Oh, I just XYZ this monster. Oh, I just go ahead and attack. But I had a feeling that I wanted to play a deck. And still this day, I have a struggle finding a deck that can understand how to play more in my style. I have a weird style of relying on effects that can go well with other interactions with other cards, like spells most often. The reason why I used to play Sky Striker, because Sky Striker was a simple deck. I can legit play whatever spells I wanted, and plus I can just slap in whether other resources in the deck and play it. Even though yes, there's about many opinions about the deck saying it's boring, and people who play Scratcher is boring, but to me, it's the simplicity of the deck archetype that I can understand easily. Because right now, there's new fusion card. Fusion is the meta of this current format.
Yeah.
And before, it was about linking and slowing down what to play as a source. And I think the reason why Konami did that weird ruling during TOS format was because it was trying to teach players to slow down the game rather having the unlimited format we have right now. And it's trying to help players to think more often and what to do and to interact with other cards. Yes, I remember the time when Ash Blossom was first printed. I remember that card cost $100. But I'm kind of glad that the card got reprinted, that everyone can buy it affordability. But the issue was that it was a long time, and I believe that they should have reprinted more after it first came out, because now everyone's just I believe, backtrack of playing more competitive games, and during that time it was a hard time for a new player to get into the game because all these hand traps, all these well, not just hand traps. There's all
The staple cards?
Yeah, staple cards that we needed our decks aren't available for them back during that time.
Yeah, that kind of the format right before Toss, right before the Salamander Extra Deck came out. I can't remember what exactly that was.
Burning something, Soul Burner, or
Yeah, the Soul Burn Structure Deck.
I think that's the name. It starts with burn with the word burner.
I think the format before that, what was that? That was probably Goki format, wasn't it?
Goki. It was, yeah. There's Goki. I forgot if I remember mentioning Goki. Goki was been played often at the time, but with Firewall, however, Firewall was banned until they reworked the card, allowed it to be played once again from the banned list, because it had I remember correctly, a reoccurring effect that lets you spam the board again after once summoned again. That's I think Firewall. I'm glad they reworked the card. It was broken. However, and the fact that they should have done that a while back before submitting it to the public already. And I'm not gonna lie, it kind of did help some decks. For example, Six Samurais.
Yeah.
I remember I did build the deck back in high school, but I sold it recently for to build Sword Soul. Before I sold that deck to buy sprites. That Firewall it was an interesting card. My friend did pull it during after the ban list. He did pull it. That was shocking. Like, oh crap. After around that time, I didn't have enough money to buy Engage. Engage was a $100 card, and you needed 3 of them in order to build a structure deck.
Yeah.
I did pull one. I'm kind of happy, and I still have that Engage card till this day, to the present day. So the decks I had back in high school was 6 Samurais, 6 Super Heavy Samurais. Yes, I'm doing the old Edge Samurai thing crap, and what else? Blue Eyes White Dragon.
Yeah.
But it's ritual format. It's ritual format away. So with Chaos
Max.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Chaos Max was fun.
It was the same. I also had True Draco. With Floodgates, with Monarch's Eruption. Just another trap card.
Were you playing it with Masterpiece when it was legal, or was that after?
That was after I played True Draco after Masterpiece was banned, and that deck stuck with me for a while. I'm glad because when we had tournaments back in high school, when I wasn't back in was a sophomore or junior, a lot of them didn't want to play the new format. I don't get it. Should y'all play the new format? And I was confused because why would you not play the new format?
Do you mean links, or do you mean
links,
the ban list?
Link
okay,
summon.
Yeah.
We don't mind. We don't care about the ban list. We knew that the ban list is there for a reason. I'm kind of glad back in high school we did that. But it's just I had an unfair advantage. Unfair because I've been going against the same player constantly, and I did not like the fact that the whole thing was kind of rigged. I had to face the same opponent again and again, and some of them going back to what I said, people don't know the rules of the play of the cards.
Yeah.
They just disagree with me, and so damn, I have to feel like shit. I don't know. I was pretty upset a little bit. I don't know, not grudge, but it's back in high school. It's whatever. It's what if. But I would say, if you're running a tournament, please, have an official judge or just have a rulings. Yes, you so poop is better. So yeah.
I have memories that I feel bad about of convincing people that because back then I didn't know about where you could find the rulings online and stuff like that. We just read the cards and did our best to interpret what they meant.
Yeah.
And in hindsight, there are so many where I really argued people down to think that it meant a certain thing. And then now afterwards, I'm like, I was 100% wrong.
Yeah.
And I feel really bad for those people that I essentially cheated, although I didn't know that's what I was doing.
Pretty much. After the ban list with Engage was at 0, that I actually knew it was gonna happen. I still want to play Striker though.
Mm-hmm.
I understand the Widow Angry hit that 2-1. I always play cards as if I'm predicting, because like I know some cards are gonna be overpowered, so I'll play at max of 1, not to play at meta 3 to waste my money on. If I play 1 of the card, because it's teaching me limitations and what to do if the ban list did occur.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like I said, I'm a casual, but if I put that mindset in my mind, I think it will improve me how I play the game.
Mm-hmm.
As of now, I have 1 Sprite Blue in my deck, and I was like, man, you should buy two more. She was like, no. I was like, not gonna lie, I did buy 2 Sprite Blues recently, but if Konami will have the ban list next year or upcoming this December, they're gonna hit Sprite Blue at 2 or 1 probably, but to hurt the deck, because like they did with the toe package, they hit Rototonin. I'm surprised. I was like, I knew this was gonna happen. I didn't buy full. Thankfully, I didn't buy full price of the toe package, but I knew it was gonna hit the deck. That's why I took out Rototonin from my deck to see what's gonna happen, and it did what it did. It did slow the deck down, and indeed, I don't want to say it hurt the deck, but there's variants that it taught me I can play around it. I can put in Runics. There's also Tyramentals. There's a thing I want you to be interested of. There's also right now there's Live Twins and Tri Brigade.
Yeah.
Now those are interesting. That's pretty cool. But for me, I just enjoy the pure satisfaction of playing a straight pure deck.
Uh-huh.
And it still runs smoothly without the Toad package. I just right now playing when my blue comes in, I'll play 2 Toads. Totally awesome. No, oh my god, no, what? Swamp Frog. I want to play 2 Swamp Frogs. That's it. So
So the inboard you're shooting for is still the double Toad negation? Is that still the goal?
probably. But I also bought a cheap staple card called Pit Knight. It is like Rototonin. And the good thing is about that too, it will like chain block your opponent's cards. For example, if Vec Veiler, chain 1, chain 2. We're going to target. Yeah, they gotta. They can target which card. They can pick 9, but I can still have the effect of searching with blue or jet. Mm-hmm. So I like the combination of it. And like I said back in the Striker, sprites right now, to me, feels like the Striker feeling I had back in high school when they first released. I still love the deck. I had the same freaking play style. It's the spell cards are like the monsters. The sprite mechanic to dump and search, you can do that with Striker. Add from drop to hand, and engage search, but launcher, search the deck from the deck, or basically blue jet, and launcher are equal summarization of engage to me, because it's easy. That's pretty much it though too. But I do want to. I kind of also am afraid as well for the future format. Mm-hmm. All these new fusion, banishment, and all that card effect that's under from the recent support. It's kind of a bit scary because right now I've been seeing new players want to play the game, but there's a bit too many steps to do with to play the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, we got hand traps, the staples, up to this point, but with the recent cards like Beastles, I'm not sure have you read some Beastle cards effects?
I have some. Yeah.
I
have read some.
It's really interesting to me. Is like why does Konami have these card effects that lets you to interact during your opponent's turn? It basically Tyramentals, like every Tyramental card I read, is when your opponent acts as effect. You can special summon on your field this card during the turn when your opponent is playing. That got my curiosity what the format is going to be going towards to. If this continues, then it will be a bit more difficult for players who are already both casually or get into the game will have a rough time. Yes, the ban list is there to happen. However, if Konami had to hit something, they gotta hit it hard, just like they did with sprites. That's what I'm thinking. I always think the loopholes and what's gonna hit. And guarantee, I have friends who I work with at my job who play Yu-Gi-Oh too, and his prediction was right about Missing Mind. I don't think Missing Mind gonna be hit as soon as or for a while. No, for a very long time, because the fact that Maxi is happening in the Japan OCG, and we don't have Maxi here, basically Missing Mind is our Maxi, our necessary evil, and if we do not have a card that slow the game, then every occurring game will be a fast play done by quick second.
Mm-hmm. So you think that Mystic Mind is a useful tool for slowing the game down?
I think so. At this point, it's just, you gotta admit it is. I play that deck. I played Mystic Mind in my striker deck for a while too.
Mm-hmm. It's very good in striker.
It is. It really is. But like people already know that striker can OTK, but later we get the support in November.
Mm-hmm.
The deck will be really good because we need linkage. That's quick play spell that allows you to switch out your striker link monsters quickly. I like that. Oh, that's pretty cool. Wish we had that back in Task, but again now it's helping the deck to get into play the new format. It's basically strikers like the Maverick of our type.
I also played Striker for a while. I couldn't afford it when it came out either. Mm-hmm. But during that, was that the 2019 Megatens that reprinted all the Striker cards?
Yes, 2019.
That's when I picked up the deck.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually played the True Draco Striker, if you remember
that.
Yeah,
I did mash True Draco and Striker together. But it was a bit difficult too, because when engagement hits, then everyone dropped True Draco Striker.
Mm-hmm. Well, they also hit the field spell too.
Yeah, field center. Wait, did it?
They hit the True Draco's field spell.
Oh yes, it did. Diagram.
Yeah.
I did 2-1.
They hit Diagram and they hit the Engage.
Which
completely killed. I remember when I bought the two decks.
Yes.
I thought, when they hit Striker, I'll just play the True Dracos, and if they hit True Dracos, they'll just play Striker, and then on that ban list they hit both of them.
I remember Infernal Noble Knights. Though that was an interesting. I like that deck. I like that. But as I hit Smoke Goblin, I believe that spell card, it's like spell card. I forgot what it does. It has like a picture of a goblin. Oh, Smoke Screen. That got hit. I was like, damn. And Dolphin too. Dolphin Man, I think. Dolphin. I don't know. It's one of those cards.
The hand looping card.
The hand looping card. Yes, to help flow the deck to play. When I play right now, I have a big issue with which deck I'm gonna keep, because right now I'm playing a card game called Card Game Vanguard. Mm-hmm. I did play the game back in high school, like when I was a junior. That card game was when I say compared to Yu-Gi-Oh, it's way cheaper.
Yeah.
I would say there's some flaws with the game, but it was kind of there with my to where I has the same skill level I want to play to between those two games. It has their own various issues though. For example, every game has Pirate Craft. Yes, I agree. However, Vanguard had that moment where the company favors a favorite so-called clan, and Vanguard back then Vanguard had clans, so different groups.
Yeah.
Like for example, there's a clan had dragons. One has elves. One had military mermaids, or one had pop stars. Apparently the company, I don't know what they did. they kind of favor one clan and one clan only, and it causes a huge problem without the whole meta or the so because like if you don't play that certain clan, you're shit. That's basically what I see.
Uh-huh.
But now they did a reboot, and I remember a lot of people saying that they don't want to play Vanguard because they constantly reboot the series. But this reboot that happened back in 2020 helped the game. Only thing that people complain about this card called this certain called an overtrigger. Basically, it's a type of card, type of how to explain it. So before I go on to explain what an overtrigger is, in Vanguard, in order to damage, you you basically reveal the top deck of a card. Basically, like you're just gambling on like the top cards and everything.
Yeah.
Basically, you reveal the top card, and the top card with this symbol on the top right is called a trigger. There's different triggers in Vanguard. There's heal trigger that lets you to heal the damage.
Yeah.
And there's a draw trigger, you draw a card, and there's critical that does extra damage to your opponent. Compared to Yu-Gi-Oh, Vanguard you attack only one monster only, one big monster, and then Yu-Gi-Oh you attack the whole different various of big boss monsters, using spells and traps, whatever. But in Vanguard you don't use spells and traps really. You rely on units with higher shield value and attack power to protect your main boss monster. Really, that's why I love the game. It's the Vanguard. It's simple to play. It's not that hard to teach about a new player, and it's simple to the point that someone can pick up a trial deck and play in a tournament. Really.
Yeah.
So going back about the overtrigger, people were having this issue about having the overtrigger in each deck. So in the reboot series, they decided to bring all the clans together into nations. Each nation had their own specific overtriggers and specific effects. Some of them allows them to restand their big boss monster or the Vanguard, what they call it, and one of them gives a bit additional effects because, for example, this overtrigger does the exact same thing with all varieties of other triggers effects into one card. Basically, you have an overtrigger with both 1,000,000 power, draw, and critical damage, and a power to the whole front row.
Uh-huh.
And so that's overpowered. And people think, that's too much. That's overpowered. They should get rid of it. I'm sitting here and a bunch of the guys I was explaining like why would you get rid of overtrigger, even though you rely on ratio and prediction. Compared to Yu-Gi-Oh, you die one turn, and in Vanguard you rely on gambling and rely on ratio, how many cards in your hand, how many cards in your drop, and how many cards you damage. So you basically you can live a bit longer in Vanguard than Yu-Gi-Oh, and from there on point, everyone's complaining about over triggers. That's the only issue. I'm glad. The issues are just over triggers. Before it's all about which clan is favorite.
Yeah.
So.
You think that's an improvement, is what you're saying?
It is a big improvement. The whole standard format for Vanguard was a big improvement from the past few reboot series of the game. I'm kind of glad.
Is it Vanguard where they have like 3 different formats that people play? Or
Yes, indeed. They have different formats. One called the D format, that's standard. V Premium, that was the other old format before the reboot series of this back in 2020. There's Premium that uses all different format cards into one. But I think standard format was the best decision they made. I believe so, because people can afford the cards. But yeah, because they did a before right now they actually had a planning tree. What will they release? What will they plan on to give to the people, to the players? So right now, during COVID, they're having issues of supply chain. So yeah, some cards, some of the boosters are delayed, but a few months now. But it is a matter of my agreement that yeah, I think Vanguard did a huge improvement in Yu-Gi-Oh.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so right now I'm taking a little bit of break from playing Yu-Gi-Oh, but playing more Vanguard with my friends now. Yeah. And I just hope the format of Yu-Gi-Oh it does not hurt the current game for other players because I don't want the feeling of freaking having more monster interactions that can freaking stop your opponent like one turn or 2 turns already and call it a game. That's it. So I just wish that Konami was fixed again.
So you wish the Yu-Gi-Oh was a lot slower, more like Vanguard, like that there were just more turns back and forth.
The grind set, yeah, more grinding sets rather than having graveyard banishing graveyard effects, all that stuff. Like I said, there's so much interactions happening in Yu-Gi-Oh now. I think it's cool, but at the same time, it kind of hurts the fact that if someone like plays a game constantly and their media thoughts like, oh, this card's freaking point, flips the table, everything gets mad. And yeah, that's good. That's your fault. That's good. It happens and shit. But now it's by how Konami is dealing, it's kind of iffy. It's hard to decide what the game holds in the future. And new players, I just hope Konami like thinks about what the decisions of what they release to the public.
I think that for new players, there have been a couple big things they tried. The first one of note is probably Duel Links.
Duel Links, yeah, I remember Duel Links. It was the phone, right? The mobile app.
Yeah.
Yep. And Mash Duel. Oh, actually, Mash Duel was a good decision there, babe. Mm-hmm. No. That was a good decision. Though, Maxi, actually, it kind of gives you a good thing about what they can release to the public because Master Duel is legit the simulation of what I want it to be. Prediction and what can I play if it's limited. There are some metal cards in there. For example, Sword Soul, Despia, Branded, and Heroes. They're in there. There is absolutely in the game. I'm like, hell yeah, it's in there. That's basically my testing ground of the current format.
I mean, Sky Striker is pretty playable in Master Duel as well, right?
Yes, correct. I think there's a recent ban list that got hit. I don't remember. I think one of the cards got hit too. I don't know. I'm not sure, but I played Sky Striker Destiny Hero before the ban list happened. Before their own very ban list occur. So
yes, DPE, one of the best Sky Striker support cards.
Yes, and then Celestial got banned.
Yeah, that was fun.
That was fun. Like, there it goes. Mm-hmm. Uh-oh.
But yeah, I remember specifically when DPE came out, even in the TCG, people really liked experimenting with Sky Striker because since he actually removes himself from the board, you'd still be able to use all your Sky Striker cards.
Correct. There's you can chain DP with Imperm, chain 1, chain 2. This is one of my friends, Sean, who's also a Heroes player. I want to give a shout out to. He taught me how to use your instead of popping your own monster. What you do is in order to you want to have a defense in the field before you don't want your opponent to OTK you, one shot you. And what you do is chain DP effect to another card target that has a negation effect or something that can stop your opponent. For example, Imperm. Have Imperm be put face down, and when your opponent summons a normal effect monster on their field, chain DPE with then chain 2 Imperm. You're not. You can also negate and pop their monster on the board in the field.
You get to do both.
Yeah, both at the same time. Yep, 2 chain links.
Yeah, DPE being a quick effect is very useful for being able to have those sort of useful interactions with other cards. let's go back to you wanted Yu-Gi-Oh to slow down, and one thing that I always thought was interesting is, for me, it might be fast in that the number of turns is very short,
Mm-hmm.
but it feels like a lot is happening.
Yes, that's what I'm trying to explain though. There's a lot of stuff happening in like those turns,
Mhm.
like tournament. Like I said, there's other decks not just tournaments. There's what did I also play that? Sprite though. Sprite with the card Sprite Elf
Uh-huh.
is a generic thing too. And what's funny that people can just bounce back, bring back one of the cards and negate the opponent's well. So basically, like an interaction to their effect during main phase.
Mm-hmm.
So that was like now more players can say standby, quick effect, activate this spell here or trap card here, and your opponent must do something in order to stop that interaction. But there's a good though. There's funny thing about that too. That's where someone can bait out your opponent, basically wasting their hand trap, their Ash Blossom, to move on for the game stake, really.
Mm-hmm.
So if I freaking say, if my opponent activate Merlin, shit. Oh wait, you screw up, sir. Wait, what do you do? Oh, you just negate one of my turns. Now I can do this more interactions now later on. Like crap.
Mm-hmm.
That's like damn. I guess what you like is that what you're trying to say too? Like, there's more interaction of the game each turn more. Even though there's less turns, there's more interactions in it. Correct?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously, it gets a little bit hazy when you start to talk about certain things like floodgate decks, for instance. It doesn't really feel like there's very much interaction going on.
It's kind of floodgates to me. It's weird now. This whole format. With even though lightning storm's available, but I just feel like floodgates. They're more easy to pick off more than before. I was like,
right now they're being backed up with things like shifter, and maybe you put in like a negate on top of your, like maybe I'm thinking about Flunder, right?
Yes, I
where
remember.
you have the barrier statue, which is floodgate, but then you also have the M-Pin, and
M-Pin.
they kind of complement each other to make it hard for your opponent to play.
Mm-hmm.
And then also you have your shifter, which is one of those
main cards.
It's one of those floodgates that your opponent really can't do anything about.
Yes.
You can't pop it. You can't.
They gotta have call by or something.
Yeah.
Or cross out. Call by, cross out. One of those cards in the decks.
Mm-hmm.
That's good though. I kind of like that. However, what does not make total sense to me is that they can just like stop that interaction much quicker than before. Yes, there's Dark Ruler no more. There's Crossout now. And Crossout, I remember that card was like $20, $40 a card. That was like $5 to get, and it's for replacement to have call by at 3. People can play 2 crossouts and 1 call by. So in order to play the 3 3 call bys, and the crossout is a pay cost, so you got to discard a card from the deck to the graveyard, or banish it or something like that. So, so if you imagine the board like you said, you have Impim, Barrier Statue, and that trap card, right? That trap card in the back row.
Dreaming Town, yeah.
Yes. If you activate D shifter, I can change call by, but so wait. Here's the interaction thing. So there's okay, but this is how I can stop the board from happening. Activate Dark Ruler No More first. You activate Barrier Statue, chain with Ash, Dimension Shifter, call by or cross out.
Mm-hmm.
One of those 3 things. And what can happen afterwards? Evenly match. I see evenly match more often play now than before.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Players do indeed have it in their side deck now. Before, like during tasks, but now I've been seeing it more lately.
Yeah.
It's a good card. I was like, it is a good card. And I see it more play now. I was like, I knew it. Damn.
I think part of it is that like Tears and even Sprite, they have so much recoverability. You basically have to completely wipe their board if you don't want them to come back really strong. And evenly match is one of those cards that can really do that.
Yes. And I've been seeing that after, yes, Dark Ruler has been printed out more often now. Like I said, Striker is weak against Dark Ruler number, but there's a funny thing about that too. Even though you Dark Ruler know more than and pop their whole board, like you said, they can recover from that next game. They can have hand traps in your hand. So okay, I'm used to it. Oh, go ahead. Dark Ruler me. Okay, remove my board. Okay, draw the next card. There we go. Pop their blue in my hand, or blue, or something in your hand already. And all I need is just use my hand trap to stop you. That's kind of crazy. Like, damn.
Yeah, that's a pretty common thing for Sprite to do. Is to set up your full board and then have a hand of like 3 or 4
hand traps. Yeah. Like, that's like Striker in a way. Sprite plays like Striker. It is like 2.0 Striker.
I remember Striker went through a lot of iterations.
It worked because of the ban list, right? Because of the ban list.
Well, that was part of. I remember early on in the format.
Early on.
It was playing a lot of hand traps.
Yeah, I remember
really deep on hand traps.
That's the funny thing too. Back in high school, I was the only one who had all the hand traps. I was able to pick up 3 ashes, 3 draw lock. Oh wait, no, 1 draw, 3 DDD crows, 3 effect layers. I had the staples. I had the money. I had to buy all the cards I need before they went skyrocketing upwards.
Yeah.
Nibiru, I waited until to college and stuff because I don't need Nibiru. I need Ash Blossoms. The main staple. It was pissed at me. It would hate my ass. Like, damn, shit.
Yeah, whenever you go played against people who weren't super in the game and you'd Ash Blossom, then that was always a big learning moment for them. Like, what?
Yeah.
This is a card?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's like the best card in Yu-Gi-Oh! For a lot of the time it was.
Yeah, well, before now, it's just, there are other cards that you can stop Ash now. You play Ash around Ash now. So, baits. The good baits.
You remember Pot of Desires came out shortly before Ash Blossom?
Yes, I remember that card. I remember it was expensive. Actually, Pot of Desires came out back then after Ash?
It came out right before, I believe it was a set before Ash Blossom. It came out before, yeah.
Okay, I remember correctly, yeah.
I remember that was specifically, what was that, Blue Eyes that played it when it first came out?
So banish 10 from deck and then draw 2?
Yeah, because at that time, one of the biggest things is that it genuinely was Pot of Greed.
Yes, with cost, though. With cost.
By banishing 10.
Yes.
It wasn't until Ash Blossom came out that suddenly it could be stopped.
It could be stopped?
Before then, it was basically unstoppable.
And I remember Prosperity came out, too. That was the biggest hell yeah Ash Pot of Greed there. You can choose which card you want to banish from the extra deck.
Yeah.
Before, no, it was Pot of Strivements to Pot of Prosperity. However, though, there's Triple Talcons. That is still my favorite card to this day. I'm not selling the card, yes. Even though I was able to pull 1 from the tins, I got 2. I paid the half the price. That card, I love it to death. No, you cannot say anything. Because play Ash. Okay, draw 2. I don't care. I take a one draw. I pick one from your hand. That is my favorite card. That has always been my favorite card.
It's a pretty neat card for sure.
Yes.
I always like it when they fold up these old banned cards.
Yeah.
Into another card.
Yes.
I believe there's a pot card that's like a level 8 flip effect.
Oh, yeah.
And when it flips, it can do basically the same thing as triple tack.
Yes, it did. It does. Yep, I remember that.
There are a lot of cool examples like that. I think Yu-Gi-Oh's got quite a history of finding ways to make the cards that they have banned using the same effects but being rebalanced by putting some crazy restriction on them, which is all of the pot cards being Pot of Desire, being Pot of Greed but being rebalanced.
Yeah. We want to also talk about the structure decks too. I'm not sure if it's kind of weird for about it, but I've been noticing that people playing structure decks in order to get the hand traps, really, because right now everyone's trying to get all staples. In the recent structure decks, everyone was scavenging for hand traps rather than picking up the deck to play. Yeah, there are people who wasn't willing to play the deck, the cards in the structure deck, but everyone cares about the hand traps, really. That kind of hurt. It kind of hurts me too. Like, shit. So we spent $30 for all for nothing just for hand traps. Okay, yeah, it's good. You got staples, but like, damn, everyone wants Ash Blossom. Everyone wants this shit. Like, damn, fuck. But I gotta admit, the Fallen Out best structure deck is the best goddamn structure deck I ever seen. It had that boss monster, had all the fusions, and the utility you can play for new players to play. That was the best. That was awesome. Now Crystal Beast though, I actually was quite interested with the whole Crystal Beast support. That's pretty cool. I like the idea. That's pretty cool. I hope the new support coming up for the Crystal Beast will be better. And there's the things I would say that can be improved, but I'll say that this whole year, Fallen Abyss is the best structure deck I've ever seen in the whole entire life of casual playing of Yu-Gi-Oh.
Mm-hmm. I remember when I first started playing competitively, I picked up 3 of the Salamangreat structure deck. Mm-hmm. A lot of people were buying it just for the Ash Blossom.
Yeah, I remember that. It's like, really, you're not playing for Ash Blossom? You're not playing for Salamangreat? Dude, that deck is overpowered.
Yeah, that was one of the best decks. But also, that was still when Ash Blossom was $100. Like, that was, for a lot of people, that was the maybe they already had their
Staples.
Well, maybe they already had a competitive deck, right, that they wanted to play.
Yes.
Maybe they'd invested and gotten into Cytric or something, but they couldn't afford Ash Blossoms.
Yeah.
Because even if I'm trying to remember some of the top decks at the time, I think Thunder Dragon was just wildly expensive.
Oh, yeah. I remember Thunder Dragon. It was a good deck. It was a strong deck. It was a strong deck to go against E-Playing Striker. It's a head-on battle. Uh-huh. With also Sky Striker Orcus, too. That was interesting play. That was cool.
That was Triff that was one of the first people to play the deck, right?
I think so.
I think he was one of the first people to adopt it for sure.
I was watching back in the times. I've been watching Simo and Farfa.
Uh-huh.
I had Burning. Oh yeah, I used to have a Burning Abyss deck too. Mm-hmm. That was cool though. I love that deck so much too. I do want to play that deck again, but I still sold that deck a long time ago, the last year already. Uh-huh. So right now I'm gonna try to keep a budget. I have a hard time keeping a budget online. I do have a budget, but I keep on spending on cards.
Yeah.
I will say for new players that before you get into playing a game, stick to play 2 decks. I everyone says stick to 1 deck, but let's be honest here. Everyone wants to build so many decks because they're all cool cards and everything. So I would say build 2 decks. Just build them up. Save your money. Don't be like myself. You constantly every paycheck they get buys new cards and stuff. So just be careful what you spend much money on. So right now I'm trying to save on a new laptop. Right now, my laptop I have right now is kind of old. And I can't do anything on it hardly. My shift keys are dead, and I had to get a keyboard to use.
For your laptop? That's kind of crazy.
I know. My shift key doesn't work, and it's an 8-year-old laptop. Oh. So yeah.
Well, you got your money's worth out of it, I imagine.
I did. For 8 years, I used that to do my high school work and everything. Mm-hmm. Sadly, the guy got to replace it with something else now. Yeah. It's in, out the old, and welcome to the new, basically. Yeah.
I did want to mention, I am very much in favor of getting, I call them pet decks. For mine, it's Magic Spectre. Just a deck that is very, very cheap, but not very good. But it's a great thing to play against like new players with, especially when they're bringing their cards from like whenever they used to play. Mm-hmm. It's also a lot of other people tend to have pet decks.
Pet decks, yes.
So that I remember when I bought Magic Spectre, it cost me like max $30 for the whole thing.
Mm-hmm. Now I think the issue is it got really expensive now. That's the thing. Some of the old sports cards. Old decks are not expensive now. Like, what the hell? Like I said, you pay $30, right? But the next day or a couple days later, up to $20. So, like, you're looking at, like, $50.
Magic Spectres just never cost anything because they're always terrible.
Correct. Terrible. But,
some old strategies, like if you want to play Burning Abyss, for instance, because it has actually been good.
Yes.
Even though it's not particularly good right now, every now and again the prices will still spike up.
Yes.
Because you never know.
You never know. I wish, like, damn, calm down, everyone. Just let people play the decks they want to play. For fun, really. Yeah, because I don't. I don't know. But for me, for a pet deck, I want to build Brandon Despia still. Cause I sold the deck too when the whole new when Aluber got really printed. I'm like, I knew it. Crap! I need to sell it quickly. I sold that deck completely. I sold the whole. I spent only. I did spend about 145 on the deck, and I was like, everyone's like, "What the hell? How you must spend so low on this deck?" Thankfully, I know people. They don't believe me, but I know my friends that play old school Yu-Gi-Oh, but still willing to sell the cards. Willing to give away free cards to me. I was able to get all the cards I needed. I had this, like I said, going to my issues with keep on selling, give away, and get my monies back. Like some of my friends right now, like, how the hell are you able to get your money back, Matthew? How the fuck do you do that shit? Like, I don't know. I just I tried to give this to people to buy my cards in order to buy this new deck here. And my friend kind of worried about me because I always spend too much money on the game right now. So, yeah, pretty much, yeah. For me, I honestly, for having a pet deck, to play a lot of players to play the game, I would say, for me, I'll put Magic Key. There you go, Magic Key.
Yeah, Magic Key was pretty fun.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. I like that deck. It's pretty cool.
I know, like, some of the fun ones are like Frightfur. Frightfur costs like nothing.
Yes,
as far as cheap decks go.
Yes.
There are a couple of other fun examples. Of just really cheap decks that are fun to play. I think although Dino isn't very good, I'm pretty sure it's still very cheap.
Yes, Dinos are very cheap. I gotta admit. That rocked everyone's boat though. I bought 3. I'm be honest with you. Have you ever taken cards from Walmart or something that you can just steal 3 decks? That's what I did. I used them back in.
What?
When
it first came out, or
the
reprints?
You remember how there are some legal players that do indie steal 3 structure decks from Walmart and Target? I was that kid who stole 3 structure decks.
Okay.
That's straightforward. But I learned my lesson though, and shit, damn. And I shouldn't steal anymore and crap. I didn't get in trouble or anything, just damn, I shouldn't be stealing and shit. So I sold the deck and build a different deck. So yeah, keep in mind, don't steal any cards from Walmart or Target. Don't do that. It's stupid. For new players out there.
When I first started, a lot of my first decks were all structure decks I bought from Walmart. I actually bought them.
You say.
But yeah, that was like the first ever structure deck I bought from a comic book store. And that was my first Yu-Gi-Oh purchase ever. And then I bought the DDD structure deck, the Monarch structure deck. I bought both of those from Walmart.
Oh, yes. I remember that. Good days. But then, I think, not gonna lie, Dinos were, okay, my first ever structure deck was Utopia. That was my favorite deck. Actually, to take back what I said about Magic Key, Utopia. That's my pet deck. It's not competitive, but it's a hella fun deck to play. It's an ultimate boss monster. So, I collect Utopia cards and stuff. That's it.
You remember when Utopia double top an event?
Oh yes, that was my Sky Striker deck right there. I used the double Utopia. That was fun. That was hella fun. It was like, what the hell? Oh, you got battle phase. Stop the negate attack. Chain. Double or nothing. Wait, what? Summon out double Utopia. Detach 2. Attack for game.
Yeah.
10k. Straightforward. What the hell? Yeah, you can't do that shit. Like, this guy's like, you can't do that. Oh, I can. Read the card effect.
Yeah.
That was
it was really the perfect format for it, too, because they have to control a monster for you to attack over.
Yes.
But it has to have less than 2,000 for it to be game. But during that format, everyone was ending on, your, Sunlight Wolf, or your
everyone had the
Galatea, or the Sky Striker Lynx.
Yes.
All of them were just small enough for you to beat over with the Utopia double and attack for game.
Yep, exactly. That was cool though. I think you can do it. I think you can do it still in this format, but you're just wasting gambling though. We still have access Go Talker.
I think part of it is just a lot of people are playing stuff like Dark Ruler anymore. You have to play to outboards. That
Yes.
prevents you from attacking for game.
Yeah.
So going for the big punch isn't really as much of a play anymore.
Yeah. I wish it was still like that though. Still, that'd be great. It's very fun. I like the OTK.
Mhm.
Yeah, so yeah.
It was definitely fun. I think. Well, you were talking about how you don't like how fast the game is, but that was kind of a thing that sped up the game.
Yes.
Some OTK enablers like that, like Utopia Double and Boral Sword and Nexus Code.
Yes.
All of them allow the game to become much shorter.
More shorter, yeah. It kind of did too. But what I'm trying to say, but really, is that the game legit had. I just wish the game doesn't have too many interactions, so much interactions, because what is like right now, if a player can't play the game, a new player can't play the game, or myself, I can't play the game at all, because like all that negation, all that stuff. Okay, I set face down at the pass. I felt bad, like damn,
Yeah.
I felt like shit.
Well, have you tried some of the legacy formats? Like, have you ever played Goat?
Goatee. Oh, I remember that Goatee format. That was cool though. That was interesting. That's right. Honestly, I played late Goat format and toss. Well, I was middle of toss, so those are the two formats I played. Yang Z. Oh, I love Yang Z though. That was cool though. That's a cool deck. Boxy Pop 2.
Yeah.
Yep. That's what Source was about too. My biggest regret though was to sell I sold my Sorcerer deck. That was a deck I regret selling. It's still being played.
Yeah.
It's still being used.
Still good.
It's still good. And they got a new monster too coming up that pops this mine.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yep, they can.
That guy.
Yeah, that level 8 Sorcerer monster. I should have sold that deck. That's my biggest regret. That deck, I want to take back from. And I'm probably gonna build that instead. I'll buy the 80 Ultras, the Baron. I don't care. I just missed that deck. I should have sold that deck. That was a really good deck.
Yeah, it doesn't take a whole lot of brain power, but it's pretty fun.
To me, it did a lot. When people said doesn't take much too much brain power, that deck, it does. For me, from a person who's like has problems with ADHD or issues like thinking ahead, I always space out. I think that deck was a perfect teaching tool to play the rest of the game. I just wish I should have sold that deck. I should not have sold that deck. That's my biggest regret. Because everyone's like, Matthew, why have you sold it? They're like, dude, that will teach you how you play the game properly. No, Matthew, what the hell? He's like, I get it. I should have listened to people like who told me this, but really, I think they're right at that point too. I was like, damn, I just saw a deck that could teach me so much how to use a resource. And now no one is usually playing Token Collector. No one's playing Token Collector. No, now before they did, now people don't play Token Collector. So I still have the staples. From now I'm gonna focus on building Sorcerer once again. So
best of luck with that.
Thank you.
I'm sure it'll still be fun.
Yes,
it is kind of unfortunate that you kind of have to deal with the power level being a bit higher now. So it's although it's still very good.
It just all the other cards right now these days, the Tormentals, Destiny Branded, got big support. A lot of people say no, it's not, but yeah, the support's good. It's really good. There's Tormentals. I just said Tormentals. Sprite, Tormentals, Brand Despia, Math Deck. Watch out for that deck. That deck is OTK awesome. That deck right there. Holy crap! It's a simple Link monster deck that is so overpowered.
I sold my Math deck a couple days ago, actually.
Oh my god, that deck is awesome. I will I root for anyone who plays Mathmech rather than any Sprite tiers or other meta decks or that. Because Mathmech, I would give you some goddamn respect.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot more interesting because it's not meta.
Yes,
I
not
was
meta.
really surprised when it suddenly kind of appeared because I was not aware of Circular's existence until
Yes, I was aware.
Mathmech started topping.
Yep,
It was pretty neat.
it is really neat.
That this deck kind of came out of nowhere and suddenly was pretty good.
Yep.
And the fact that they kind of have, in the sense, they have a Tri-Brigade Revolt.
Yeah,
And
the triangle looking trap card.
Yeah,
Yep,
it's
that's
kind of
good.
funny. They almost end like the same sort of board. It's an Appaloosa plus a Revolt,
Yes.
except instead of Revolt, it's the Superfactorial,
Mm-hmm.
which I think is very interesting.
Can you? There's. I don't know. I remember some Red Reboot got hit too. That's kind of sad, unfortunate. Red Reboot got hit. I was like, that sucks. Why did Konami hit that card?
Mhm.
If anything, they should hit Tears a bit. Yeah, well, actually, they did hit Tears. It was Snow.
Yeah,
So,
Snow was a big hit.
That's
to
a big
Tears,
hit for Tears, but
but they are plenty good without it.
yeah, it's good without it though. I just wish like Red Reboot wasn't get hit, man. I was like, come on, any other card Red Reboot. Because
Red Reboot was interesting for
it
sure.
was interesting. It's the one off to keep.
It was a one of, but it's one of those things that it really just shuts down because it's the counter trap card.
Correct.
So you can't respond to it at all. So it kind of makes sense that it's like, and it's also it being a one of. You feel like every time someone resolves it against you, you feel like you got absolutely sacked.
Yeah.
Especially when it's something like I remember during Swordsville format. I remember some people played Red Reboot just to stop the.
Floodgates.
Well, I
No,
remember.
not Floodgates. There's all the cards too. Oh, there could be one. Cheekaboo. Rivalry. Lower Lords. And Summon Limit. Stellar Judgment. Funny enough, I see people playing more Stellar Judgment than Soul Strike. That was cool. That was funny. So, those 4 cards, I said. Those 4 cards, I think everyone's tried to use Red Reboot before.
Mhm.
So, yeah.
Well, of course, Red Reboot was very good against specifically counter trap card because it's the only thing that can stop them.
Yep.
So you try to summon your monster and then they'd activate their judgment and then you'd Red Reboot them.
Yep.
And it's the only because there's no other way to dodge it.
Yep. I just wish there's just another trap card like that, maybe but with a cost.
Yeah, with more of a cost.
Like, well, actually, half a life point. They should do that. They should do that.
That
Half a
is
life
what it
point.
did.
Oh wait.
If you
Oh yeah,
activate it from your hand, it costs you half your life points.
They should do something more. Discard. Get half a life point.
Uh-huh.
There you go. There you go.
If it had a discard on it, it'd definitely be a lot more. That basically makes it like Twin Twisters.
Yes, it will be like Twin Twister. Yes.
I think that could definitely be more reasonable.
Yep.
But it was interesting. It did feel like it had very little cost, just paying half your life.
Yep.
Because you just wouldn't play it in anything you couldn't OTK with anyway, so you didn't have to worry about that.
Yep.
But if you had to lose some card advantage, that would probably be good enough.
Yeah, it will be good enough.
I don't know why this made me think of it, but you remember Broken Line?
That card sounds familiar.
Yeah, Broken Line is a counter trap card that negates everything in its column.
Mm-hmm.
I remember some people played it in Eldritch and stuff.
Yeah.
But if there was a condition to let you use it from your hand, or the turn it was set,
Yep.
that would be pretty interesting.
Yeah,
I
basically.
wonder.
And what's funny though, the new spell card, Triple Talents. Not Tactics.
I know what you're talking about.
The new spell card is coming off the new support from Photon. That card specifically, it'll be the most sought out card. It's gonna be a common, right?
I don't remember.
Will that be a common or something? If so, then if my predictions are correct, that card will be played for Striker or any draw power deck out there in this format.
Mm-hmm.
That would be crazy. Then we might see decks from old TOS format, other decks from TOS, not just Striker, Colossus, Thunder Dragon, all that stuff, will crawl out from the grave and be resurrected from the present day. I'm probably gonna see that. We're all gonna see that happening, for sure.
It would be pretty interesting if some of the older cards, I think a lot of people have a lot of nostalgia about toss format.
Yep.
And if some of those cards were able to come back
Yep.
and become relevant again. Although it seems like there's a lot of disdain for Sky Striker specifically. You either loved it or you hated it.
Yes, you love it, you hate it. That's the thing. I'm one of those people who loves the deck already, so I got no complaints.
Yeah.
But I understand the hate, all that, but the hate, how boring the deck is, and stuff, and how it constantly keep on winning, and how the Konami didn't ban or anything about that during the time period.
Mhm.
But now it's just there to be there as a Maverick archetype.
Yeah.
So
Now that it's the underdog.
is the underdog is now it can't compete, but it's just there.
Nothing like the former glory it was, but still.
It still has the pride.
Mhm.
It still has the pride.
Yeah, I think it's still definitely one of the higher skill decks. Although Mystic Mind kind of puts a damper on.
It's a noobish deck to play now. I don't know. I don't think it's called noobish. It's things that it's a stall deck now.
Yeah.
Really.
I can't remember. Are they playing with runic cards?
No, actually, I was thinking about it, but no. Apparently, it plays well with sprites.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think we've had a nice conversation here, so I think it's about time we wrap it up.
Yep, definitely.
Thank you a lot for coming on. I really appreciate it.
No problem.
Maybe we'll have you on again sometime soon.
I wish next time with a different person here. It'd be great. So I appreciate it. Thanks for having me here, and I hope we can see each other later in the future.
Yeah.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.